guys, it's Olivia and welcome back to Live in Literature. Thank you so much for all the love and support I received to my last video, and if you have not seen it yet, feel free to head on over to my channel to check it out. Well guys, I'm absolutely so excited for today's video because as some of you might have been noticing over the course of the past couple of months, you know, every year I think that I have like a certain trajectory of where my reading is going to go. For instance, last year, my reading journey took me to places far and wide, and I dubbed last year, the year of 2024, Vampire Cowboy Romance Year. So like last year was the year of the vampire and the cowboy. Like last year I was reading majority cowboy and vampire novels, okay? I was eating up vampire tropes, I was eating up the cowboy tropes. And to be fair and honest, I am still eating up cowboy tropes, but something new has come upon me in this season of life. I don't know what it is about the great year of 2025. I don't know what it is that is calling out to my heart to be reading this kind of literature. But as you've seen from the title of today's video, we are talking about monster romances, okay?
What the heck?
As many of you have been seeing from the trajectory of my past couple of videos, I have been reading a lot of monster romances.
Calling all the monsters, calling all the monsters.
And I don't want to see any judgment from y'all in the comment section, okay? Monster romances are for all. And I'm entering a new era of my life where I'm like, you know what? Is he a giant orc? Yeah. Is he a giant, like, shifter, like, orc polar bear kind of dealio? Yeah. But would I take him down like he's a literal tree I'm about to climb? Yes.
I'm glad he's single because I'm going to climb that like a tree.
And that's what we're here to talk about today. Now, caveat for the video, I'm going to be recommending monster romances. Now, I'd like to point out that in the title, you can see that I wrote trashy in there, okay? Trashy monster romances. Now, I have to admit, a lot of these are not the most well-written things on earth. However, did I have a good time while I read them? Yeah. So honestly, like, take it as you will. Some of these are going to be better written than others. Some of these are going to be like level scholar, like just beautiful, stunning, beautiful things. And others of these are going to be like, okay, so this person's never written a book ever in their entire life, and it's the first time they're ever writing one? Yes. Like, we're going to get varying degrees of writing levels, okay? And normally myself, I consider myself the writing police. Whoop, whoop. Like, I am.
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast.
The writing police, okay? I am like if it's not good writing, I will not read it. However, for some reason, when it comes to monster romance, all syntax, grammar, punctuation, it all leaves my brain and goes out the window. And for some reason, when it's a 7-foot orc talking to me, I just don't care because he's hot, you know? Say that these are all gonna be like, you know, Nobel Peace Prize winning books that I'm recommending for you today, but I will say that you'll have a good time and you will enjoy them if you want to come on this monster journey with me. So, before we get into the video, let's talk about the things that I just finished reading and what I am currently reading. Now, I'd like to start off with, I told you guys I was going to finish reading First Time Caller by B.K. Borson. Well, I lied.
You lied to me?
I'm a liar. I don't know why I keep lying, okay? I keep saying I'm going to finish the book, and guess what? I keep just putting it off and not finishing it. So here's the tea. I have not read it, and it's still on my list to read, okay? I will get to it eventually. I know everyone's probably like, geez, when are you finally just going to read the book already? I will read it at some point. I just keep getting distracted by all these things. And what I'm getting distracted by, because I just finished The Favorites by Lane Fargo, which absolutely changed my life. And if you want to hear my review about The Favorites, go check out last week's video. But I have been reading more in the monster romance universe, and I picked up these three little beauties, all by the author Cass O'Shire, and all of the covers are like her own artwork, which I think is really, really cute and sweet. We have, and we're going to be talking about these books in today's video, so I'm just going to tell you the titles, and we're just going to move right along. I read A Polar Expedition and Other Stimulating Research Opportunities, On the Care and Keeping of Orcs, and the third book, The Rake, or The Orca Who Met His Match in a Selkie Seeking Revenge. All of these are monster romances, and we will be getting into them in today's video. So I did finish reading those three books, and then I also finished reading on Tuesday, the same day I bought it, The Strawberry Patch Pancake House by Laura Gilmore. And if you guys are familiar, Laura Gilmore writes the Dream Harbor contemporary romance series. And each of the books takes place like at a cute little business in this cute New England, like contemporary romance town. And it's so darling. And for all y'all who love to get into a single dad romance, this is for you. Oh,
Welcome to For the Love of Dilfs.
literally so good. We have a young man named Archer Bear, who is a famous chef in Paris. He's a Michelin star winner. He is like a super, super high intense chef. He finds out one day from his lawyer that he actually has a 5-year-old daughter that he never knew about and needs to come back to Dream Harbor, New England to meet his daughter and to take care of her because her mother is no longer able to take care of her. So he shows up at this town having to take care of this daughter that he like didn't even know he had. He has to get a job at a crappy diner in town and he needs someone to watch his daughter while he's working at the diner. And he meets Iris. And Iris is a young woman who lives in town. She's 26 years old and she kind of hops around from job to job and she takes up this nannying gig to help Archer out. And they end up falling for each other. And it's so hot and romantic and sweet and sexy. And I just absolutely loved it. I loved the single dad. I don't know what it is about a single dad romance in a fiction. I eat it up every time. I love a DILF. If y'all would like to see a DILF recommended romance books, let me know. I would happily film that video because I love single dads. This one is legitimately so good and I had such a good time reading it. 4 stars for the Strawberry Patch Pancake House. Very fun and cute. And what I am currently reading, I am going to be starting it today as we speak. I am going to be reading Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. Guys, the 5th book in the Hunger Games series, the second prequel that Suzanne Collins has done, this book is all about our boy Haymitch. I think it's the 50th annual Hunger Games and how he gets reaped and his experience in the Hunger Games. And from what I've seen from everyone, this book goes crazy. So I cannot wait to read it. I've heard nothing but incredible things and I'm so excited to read this one. So that is everything that I just finished reading and what I'm currently reading. Let's get back into what we were talking about, which was monsters. Monsters. Okay, so everything I'm going to be recommending for you guys today is going to be like all monster based. There might be some human interaction, but I'll be honest, like most of these guys are going to be like big green dudes. I'm just going to be monsters, okay?
They say you're free when we're having fun.
Like it's going to be monsters and it's gonna be fun and y'all are gonna have a good time and you're gonna come on this journey with me because listen, this is not the journey I expected myself to go on. I didn't know that monster romances were deep in my blood veins. Like I just didn't know it was deep within me. I didn't know that it was something I craved, was to be loved by a mythological creature with like green skin or like with horns or like with powers to shift or whatever, okay? I didn't know that this was in the cards for me. I mean, listen, we were one pointed ear away from this, okay? Like I love me some fae dudes. I love a fae dude. I love fae dudes. They really are the hottest. They're probably my top tier of dudes. But like there's something about monster men. Like they're big and they're growly and they're protective and they're just like, oh, there's so much about them that I just like love.
Stop it. Get some help.
I love all the instinctual stuff, all like the animal stuff. It's like, woo, like it's just so fun. So again, if this is not your cup of tea, please go watch any of my other gorgeous videos. But if you want to get a little weird, you want to get a little fun, you want to get a little freaky, stay around for some trashy monster romance recommendations. So let's get started. We're going to start off easy and start off small. Okay. We're going to work our way up. First, we're going to start off with Sarah Hawley's. We have A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon, A Demon's Guide to Wooing a Witch, and A Werewolf's Guide to Seducing a Vampire. So these are all urban fantasies. These take place in a modern setting and have like fantastical elements with them. So this takes place, all 3 of these take place in a modern world, and each of them obviously is like about a specific couple in this little world that they've created that has like fantastical mythological elements. The first one is A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon. So obviously we have our young person, her name's Marielle, and she falls in love with the demon Azeroth on accident. And they end up having to fake date each other to like save face in the community. Very cute, very fun. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. Obviously a demon isn't like super like out of the comfort zone when it comes to like monster men. Technically he's a monster, but like the most he's got are some horns, and honestly, like, that's really it. So honestly, is he even a monster?
No! Yes! I don't know!
Not really. Same with a Demon's Guide to Wooing a Witch. Same vibe. We've got a witch and we've got a demon, and similar vibes. Like a demon, yeah, he's got horns and stuff, but like really he's practically human. So nothing too crazy. But again, a very cute like enemies to lovers, like coming around the bush, like reluctant allies having to work together kind of situation in this one. And then, of course, my personal favorite in the series, A Werewolf's Guide to Seducing a Vampire. We have a young Ben Rosewood, who I adore. Love him because he's just a darling little man in an Argyle sweater. And I love a nerd.
Brainy's the new sexy.
I love a nerdy guy, and he's so sweet, and he owns a little plant shop, and he accidentally summons this vampire woman from like the 1700s on accident, and he ends up having to like help her find out how she like got there and like figuring herself out, and they end up falling for each other, and it's super hot and sexy and romantic. All of these have some cute little spicy moments. They're very cute, very sweet. It's very much like modern time dating, so like very much like modern contemporary dating. So if you want to dip your toes into some monster romances, all three of these I would recommend for that kind of sort of thing. It's very cute, very sweet, very simple, nothing too crazy. We're starting off small, we're gonna get bigger. So I love all three of these. They're all great. Let's kick it up a notch and talk about one of my favorite series of all time by Elise Kova. Okay, guys, her Married to Magic series. Now, each of these in the Married to Magic series are a standalone. There are 5 books in this, but the first 2 are about 2 fae dudes. And technically, yes, like fae dudes could qualify as monsters, but not really, not like this. These are the real monster romances that we're getting into in Elise Kova's Married to Magic series. So we have, if you're reading in order, we have A Duel with the Vampire Lord, which again, a vampire human monster romance. We have A Duet with the Siren Duke, which I absolutely highly recommend. Very sexy, very fun. And then of course we have A Dawn with the Wolf King, which of course is werewolves. So we've got vampire, siren, mermaid man, werewolf. All 3 of these I would recommend. I will be honest, my personal favorite, and surprisingly, is A Duet with the Siren Duke. For some reason, that one hit a nerve with me and just like touched a chord in my soul. It like strung it. It was like boing. Like it just hit me deeply, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I will recommend all 3 of these. These all take place within the same world. Like the world is all the same, but they're in different quadrants of the map. So they all take place in different places. And they're each little standalone, so you technically don't have to read any of them. You could literally just pick up one of them and like go for it and read it. But it does help if you've read the other ones in the series to know kind of what's going on. I love this series. I think it's fabulous. Honestly, I enjoyed all 3 of these. Like all 3 of these are so good and really fun and really sweet and very much just like cozy, kind of more like cozy romance vibes. Like this one's definitely more high stakes. Like there's more high stakes going on this one. It's a little bit bloodier, a little bit gorier, but again, very romantic and fun. This one is a little bit lower stakes, I would say, but again, the ending is so like climactic that it's crazy, and then the romance between these 2 is just astounding, hot and heavy. I love it. This one, the stakes feel a little bit higher, but that's because there's like a kidnapping situation going on that she's trying to escape from. There's like a the King's Guard kind of situation watching over her, and they start to fall for each other. So again, very romantic, very sweet, and I will read anything with werewolves in it because I love werewolves now. Oh, I love werewolves. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
She's a wolf in mouse clothing.
So again, if you're looking for something that's a little bit more in the fantasy world, but a little bit more on the low stakes, like fun side, I recommend all 3 of these in the Married to Magic series. Very good, very fun. You will not be disappointed. Now, from one of my favorite authors. So I actually really love this author, and I like cannot wait because I know that this author, she's an indie published author, and she's on the rise. She's on the rise to stardom. I know that she's going to break through the walls one of these days, and then everyone's going to know about her, and I'm going to be like, I've been reading her books for years. I've known about her all this time. We have Grace Draven's Radiance and Eidolon. I think it's Eidolon is how you say this, but anyways, it's a cute little duology. And this one is a friends to lovers romance. And I normally hate friends to lovers because I'm like, boring. Give me enemies to lovers. Give me knives to throats. Give me hatred so deep that you want to kill them and then fall in love with them. Yeah, that's normally my vibe. But this one is a friends to lovers, and I will say it is very sweet because they're more like reluctant allies to friends and then to lovers. So essentially the premise of this one is there's a young woman named Ildiko who is like the king's niece, I think, in this kingdom. So she's essentially being pawned off in a wedding to one of the second born prince of this neighboring kingdom of these people called the Kai. And the Kai are essentially like big, almost kind of vampire-y, kind of orc-ish. They're like gray, big, like with like pointy teeth and sharp claws, and like they have gray skin and like yellow eyes and like black hair, and they're all big and muscly and tall, and like they're just kind of like a mythological race that she created. They're like, yeah, just, I mean, you can see from the cover, like he's gray, like very, you know, very handsome, whatever. And like very similar like human anatomy, but like just again, like a couple of differences here and there. And they're nocturnal. They're only like out at night and they sleep during the day. And anyway, so Brishin, the second born prince of the Kai, and Ildiko, this woman, end up meeting the day of their wedding and like getting married. And they don't know anything about each other. They think they're both hideous. He's like, wow, you look terrible. And she's like, so do you. Let's get married. And they're both just kind of like, well, this is hilarious. Like, they're kind of just kind of like, well, it is what it is kind of situation. Like, it could be worse. At least I like the person I'm marrying. I don't know anything about them, but like, at least they're not like horrible, it seems. And they end up getting along, and it's very cute. And this like subtle little duology is a very cute, like low stakes, fun little fantasy moment between these two neighboring kingdoms and like how the humans and the Kai kind of like get along. Very fun, very cute, a great way to dip your toes into monster romance. And I absolutely love this romance. And I will say the spice in here is very good. Brishin knows what's up. It's very good. He knows what's up. So
They're experts, Bob.
I 10 out of 10 recommend this one. I absolutely love it. And it is a really fun monster romance. Next, we have the monster romance series that is basically like taken over my life. And I would consider probably one of the best I've ever read and that I absolutely love. These are marketed as cozy fantasy, like fun and like spicy, whatever. We have Halfling, Ironling, and then Sweetling by S.E. Wendell. Now, I am absolutely 1000% obsessed with S.E. Wendell. I am like absolutely loving her books. They are literally so fun, and I cannot recommend Halfling to enough people. This is what you came for, guys, okay? You wanted monsters? Here are the monsters. We got big green dudes, okay? Orcs, which I never thought I would be into. But essentially they're just like elves, but like more big and muscly. And then they got pointy ears and they're green. Like that's really it. Like it's nothing too crazy. And if y'all's question was, is it green? You know, like, is it green? Yes. And guess what? It's awesome. Like, it's green and it's awesome. Like, get into it, y'all. It's so fun. Like, I just didn't know that I was going to have a penchant for orc. Like, I didn't know that orcs were going to be my everything. And each one of these in this series, I have adored for different reasons. Like, I just love it. I love them. I just think it's so fun. I think they're like enough high stakes that I'm entertained, but enough low stakes that I'm like, oh, like this is just a good time. Like we're having a good time. Like it's fun.
No one's fun anymore. Whatever happened to fun?
So the first one, Halfling, is between our young orc named Auric, who lives in the Stone Clan. He's like a half orc, half human. So he's a halfling. And he is basically like a social pariah. Everybody hates him. And one day they bring a human woman named Sorsha into the camp, and they're going to give him to the clan chief as like a sex slave. And he's like, heck no, not going to happen. That's what happened to my mom. And she was human. He's like, no, I'm going to help her escape. So Sorsha and Auric team up to escape, and he essentially helps her get back to her people. And literally it is so romantic. It's like a low key enemies to lovers, but more like reluctant allies to lovers kind of situation. Very fun. And then when the spice in here is spicing, it gets so hot and heavy. It is so fun. Like I love it. And I adore Auric. Like he is such a sweetie, and I just want to wrap him up and take him home and have him for my boyfriend. Like I love him.
Well, then she's delusional.
And I want him and I need him. I just love him, and I just cannot get over how much I love him. Then the second one, Ironling, is basically later on in the kingdom, we meet a couple of her Sorcerer's friends. So she's friends with the new, essentially like Duchess of the area named Lady Aislinn, and Lady Aislinn is now like the new like higher up Duchess of this like kingdom, so to speak. And they're allowing more like mythological creatures to come into the lands and like infiltrate now that Auric is there and now that Sorcerer's there, and she's like vouching for him. So from a different clan, there's another half orc, half human, or sorry, half human, half orc guy named Hakon. And Hakon comes in to become the new stone mason forge guy, the guy who works in the forge, blacksmith. He's the new blacksmith for the castle. And Lady Aislinn and Hakon develop a really gorgeous relationship. It's very friendly and cute, and then it gets a little bit spicy, and there's a lot of like court politics in this one. This one's definitely more of a political one. Loved this one. Very sweet, very cute, and Hakon is a gorgeous lover. I mean, look at him. Look at that hair. I mean, I just can't get over it. So this one's lovely. And then, yes, I am going to talk about a hot fae dude because I love hot fae dudes. But this one goes with it, and so you just have to rock it. So then we have Sweetling, and this one is a young fae man named Alarian from the Faelands, and he comes to this kingdom for like essentially to seek refuge from his queen because she's evil. And while he's there, he needs to like tie his magic to the land because of course the fae and the land like are very like their magics are very connected through the earth and the trees and the flowers and all of that. And he needs a mate to do so, and he meets this woman named Molly in town, and she essentially becomes his like partner, but she's like, why would you want me? And she thinks he's kidnapped her, and it's an arranged marriage situation, and it's very hot and heavy. And Alarian is also an incredible lover. He knows what's up. He knows what he's doing because he's a hot fae dude, and hot fae dudes always know what's up.
And that's period. And speak that shit into existence. You gonna make it.
So, again, all three of these I absolutely adore. I think they're all so fun. I cannot wait for the next one. Failing comes out this summer, and it's between a fae woman and an orc. And I'm like, yes! Like, I'm so excited. It's going to be hot, and it's going to be heavy, and I cannot wait. So again, get into these big green dudes and of course my hot fae boyfriend, because literally it is the most fun I've ever had ever. And of course, last but not least, we are going to be talking about the 3 books by Cass O'Shire in this, as she describes it, a cozy gas lamp monster romance. So these are like the gas lamp monster romances. And okay, I'm going to level with you. This author, this first book is trash.
And
Okay, I'm just gonna be honest, like it legitimately, it's not good. This first one is bad actually, but guess what? Did I read the whole thing just to get to these 2? Yes, because everyone kept saying they're like, the first one is definitely like the author's first time ever writing it, okay? You can tell it's her first time. You can tell it's the first time she's ever really published anything, and it shows. It shows in the pages. It shows how it's written. It shows in the pacing. It shows in everything. And there's a lot of information of like things you don't really need to know, and there's a lot of info dumping and like things like that, and so it gets kind of tricky. It's not my favorite. This one is, but I will say though, for this whole series, it's important for me, at least personally, I think it's important to read all 3 of these because it makes each one of them make more sense because you already are familiar with the world that she's created. So this one is about a young woman named Siren, and she is essentially a scholar living in this kingdom. And essentially she's a scholar of this magical element called Lanula. And Lanula, essentially, it gives you the ability to like alter and change things about your body, about the way your brain functions, about your eyesight, your hearing. Like it can like change everything. It can change your body temp. It essentially is just like a life force that controls everything that you do. And if you know how to access it, you can like use it really, like you can use it to your betterment. So Siren wants to go on a trip to the far north, like the northest part of the continent, to find the source of Lanula because she's really frustrated by all these people who are like, just trust the source, because the source comes from a religious aspect. It's this goddess that they've created. The lady is what they call her. Anyway, so she decides to go on this trip up north, even though she knows it could be really dangerous. And when she goes up north, she realizes that she's come upon this man who has such a strong a strong knowledge of the Lanula that is in the area, that he's able to shift his form completely into another animal. And he's chosen a polar bear for himself. So Burn is a polar bear, well, a man who can shift into a polar bear. And he finds Siren on her journey up north. And he's like, what's this woman doing out here? Also, I'm in love with her because she's a woman. Yeah, like the romance aspect of this one, this first one is so fast. It's very insta love. It's very much like, well, like you're here, I'm here, let's get it on. And this one, I will say, this is where you lost me. Like, this is where you've lost the plot. Like, something happens in here at the very end. There's like an epilogue where we go over some like, there's an epilogue where like, you know, they're Marvin Gaye and getting on, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they're getting it on. Like, they're doing things. And, like, things are heating up. And, you know, maybe she has sex with a polar bear.
No. Wait. Wait.
You know, she might have sex with a polar bear. And I'll be honest, like, that is where you kind of lost me. Like, you kind of lose me there. If that is something you're into, go for it. Like, go for it. For me, I was kind of like, you've lost the plot. I was like, okay, I was seeing the appeal when he was, like, doing the shifting thing, and, like, that was really hot, and it was like, yes. But, like, it kind of lost the plot for me a little bit. Okay? And, you know, everyone has the things that they like, but I think that this one is just a little bit kooky. It's a little bit too unwell written. But then, okay, so I kept going because even though this one, I literally rated this one, I think I rated this one like 2 stars. Like, it's really not good. But I read it because I needed to know for the other 2, which happened to be actually like cute. Because the second one, which is On the Care and Keeping of Orcs, is about Burn's sister, what's her name? Kat. Burn's sister, Kat, and then his best friend, Torin, who's an orc. And so then you have, like, orc and like, this woman who is, like, a shifter, and she can shift into a rabbit, which is really cute, and she uses that to her betterment. And this one is, like, a single mom with her 2 twins, and then, like, the hot, like, bachelor-esque, like, hot, sexy orc dude, and their romance. And this one is actually, like, really sweet and cute, and I really enjoyed this one. This one I gave 3 stars to. Like, don't get me wrong, the writing was still a little bit, like, whatever, but honestly, like, I was having such a good time that, like, I didn't even care, and the romance between these 2 is so good, and it gets a little spice there at the end, and it is really good, and I was eating it up. Like, I was like, ooh, like, I was like, yeah, okay, give me more hot green dudes, give me more orcs, I love it. And then the culmination of it all is this third one, because the third one was actually perfection in my opinion. Like, don't get me wrong, the writing is still like, okay, you know, it's not very good. It's very trashy writing, but it's so freaking cute. So this one has way more high stakes than the other 2, and I think I liked it more because there was a little bit more going on in this one than the other 2. The other 2 were a little bit more like low stakes, like chill. This one, the stakes were pretty high. So we have a young captain of a ship named Aegir, and he is like an expert in controlling this Lanula. He can change his form into anything, like almost anything, but he has a preference of a form that he likes, which is like, he likes to be like half human, half orca. Like, he's in a semi-shifted state all the time. He likes his orca form. So it's essentially like orca coloring, like black and white, like coloring with like the cute little floppy ears, but he's like human in that way. So cute. I'll put some fan art in. It's really cute. I was like, oh my gosh, wait a minute. This is actually kind of sweet. And then there's a young woman who's a Selkie, who essentially gets like kidnapped from these pirating dudes, these other Fae guys. They kidnap her, and she escapes, and Aegir finds her, and they end up like teaming up to go and like save her brother. And like the stakes are way higher, and like the sex is so hot, and like they are really cute, and she is really like fierce and fun, and she's this like half Selkie, half human woman, and she's like so sweet and fun. I just love the connection that Aegir and Elspeth make in this one. Aegir is like this bachelor rake, hot, sexy pirate dude who like is just like this eternal bachelor who falls in love with this like really sweet, like little Selkie woman. And I just love their connection, and I loved the way this story went. This one definitely gets into some like hot and sexy times between them when they're like in their shifted forms, if you know what I'm saying. So it gets into some like shifted stuff, which is kind of like, ooh. So it gets a little weird and freaky, but like I enjoyed it. I had a good time.
Uh-oh, spicy.
This one is like really fun, and this one I gave 4 stars to. Like, even though the writing is still kind of bad, like I was like, I'm here for it. Like, I love this. I love Agar. I love Elspeth, and I was like, you know what? I'm having a good time. So again, like I got through the first book, which was not very good, but it's pretty small compared to I mean, like, look at that. Like, it's pretty small compared to the other 2. Like, it's fun, it's fast, like, you can just read it really quick just to get to the other stuff. But, like, you do this one, and then you do the On the Care and Keeping of Orcs, which was, like, it's like 2, 3, and then 4 for, this one, the Selkie one. So, again, I enjoyed this series. I'm going to keep reading this author. Like, I enjoyed it enough that I would continue to read her stuff. And I love her book covers. And I think that it's such a, like, a cute, cozy idea. And so I had a good time. And I hope you guys will too if you decide to check these out. So that is all the monster romance book recommendations I have for you guys today. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you did, do not forget to like, comment, subscribe to the Living Literature YouTube channel. Guys, I hope you enjoyed hearing my rant about hot monster dudes. I know that I am thoroughly enjoying this turn that my life is taking this year, and I hope that you will come with me. Come join me on the monster romance train. It's really too much fun. If there's any video ideas and things that you guys would like to see, do not forget to leave them down below in the comments. And again, I love you guys so much, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!